everyone, this is Gina. Today I'm going to show you how to make this really dainty little pair of earrings. I'm holding them in my hand just so that you can see how pretty the colors are. I'll lay them down here and you can see them a little bit better. I'll zoom in on them and you can see what they look like. They are very delicate little earrings. They're not big or bold. They're just very delicate and elegant. And that's what we're going to make today. So let's look and see what it will take to make this project. Okay, for this project you're going to need 2 ear wires. I'm using this little gold-plated French wire for my ear wires. You're going to need 11 O's in 2 colors. These are Toho's. This one is Starlight Galvanized Gold Tone Seed Bead from Toho. And this one is a pearlized gold-lined Toho, and it's cream colored. Then you will need 14 4mm Bicone crystals, and this is a Swarovski Blue Zircon. And then you will need a 15O seed bead. Well, more than a 15O seed bead. However, get yourself a little pile of 15Os, 11Os, and 4mm bicones. And then you will need a size 10 beading needle, or 12 will work also. And I am going to use 10-pound Nanofil. Today you can use 8-pound or 6-pound Fireline. 6-pound probably work better since we are using 15O seed beads. And let's go ahead and get started on this tutorial. Okay, to start this project, you are going to pick up, I'm going to use my gold tone as my main color. You're going to pick up 12 11O seed beads in your main color onto your needle. So there's 6, 7, 8, 9. Let me spread them out. 10, 11, 12. Now I'm going to bring these down to the end of my thread. You don't have to leave a long tail, but leave enough to hold on to and to tie a knot. So this is what you should have. Then you're going to go up from the tail side and go through several of your beads. You don't have to go through all of them, just enough. Hold on to them and pull into a circle like this. And then go ahead and sew back through all of these beads. When you get to where your tail is, you will then tie a knot. And just tie a very small knot because this has a tendency to want to pull through the beads. Don't pull your beads really tight. You want to leave a little bit of slack in there, a millimeter or 2 of slack. Not much, just a little bit. Now I've tied a knot, and I have just a little circle of beads here. Now I am going to sew through the first 3 beads next to where my knot is and exit the 3rd bead. And I've got my tail in there. Let me get it out. And now I'm exiting the 3 beads here. Let's get a little closer again so you can see. And at this point we're going to pick up one of the 11 O's of the second color you have chosen. So I'll pick up one of my cream 11 O's, and then I'll go into 3 more 11 O seed beads. And I will pull this 11O down on top like this. Now don't pull your thread really tight because you have to get all the way around doing this. So you want a little bit of slack in it, like I said before. Pick up another 11O of your second color. Go through 3 more 11Os and pull so that it's down like this. And then pick up another 11O seed bead and go through 3 more of your beads, like so. And then pick up 1 more 11O seed bead and go back up through the first 3 Now this is where my knot is, so it's a little difficult to push through. And it's also hard sometimes to get up through this little white one. If you can't get up through it, then just go up through the gold and then go through that bead. I have to pull this through. And the knot is a little bit of an issue, but I found that if I don't make a knot there, then the beads just slip off too many times. It's just really irritating. So I've settled on having a knot in this particular design. And this is what you should have so far. Now, at this point, you are going to pick up 3 11-0 seed beads. You're coming out of this 11-0, you're going to pick up 3 of your second color, the one that matches this one. And then you're coming out of this side, you're going to go into the opposite side, and you're going to pull these down into a little unit of right angle weave, like so. And then you're going to sew back through it. Okay, so I've sewn all the way through and secured it. Now I'm going to sew back up to this bead right here so I can make another unit. So I'm going to come up through this one, and then I'm going to come up through this one right here and exit. And then I'm going to pick up 12 more of my first color of 11-0 seed beads. So 3, 6, 9, 12, like so. I'm coming out of this side of my 11-0 seed bead. I'm going to go into the opposite side, and I'm going to pull these down into a circle. Now we're going to sew back around this, like so. Just start sewing up through the beads. Leave a little bit of slack in the thread. Don't pull the beads really, really tight. And when you get all the way back through all of your first color beads, don't go into the white bead or the other color 11-0 seed bead that you are attaching to. Just go through the first color, skip the second color bead here, and then go back into the first 3 of your first color. So I'm going to go back into the first 3 gold beads right here, skipping over that white bead. This is very important. This is what maintains consistency of the design, because we have these beads on the outside of the initial thread. So we want to make the same thing happen with our second unit. So that's why we're skipping that white bead. Now we have gone through the first 3 beads. We're going to pick up our second color and then go into the next 3 gold beads here. And then I'm going to, my thread is all messed up there. Then I'm going to pick up another of my second color, go into the next 3 on my unit, and pull that bead down into place. Make sure those beads slide down in there nice and they form a little diamond shape as we're doing this. And then I'm coming out of these 3 beads. I'm going to pick up a white bead and I'm going to go into the next 3 gold beads on my unit. You can come up through the white bead if you want down here, or just come through the gold. That is fine. Then come through the white bead. If you didn't come through the gold, you now want to be coming out of that white bead in the center there. And then you're going to pick up, we're going to put a little embellishment in the middle of the diamond shape on this side here. So we're going to pick up 2 15-0 seed beads, and then a crystal, and then 2 15-0 seed beads, like so. 2 15-0s, a crystal, and 2 15-0s. We're coming out of this side of our 11-0 seed bead here. I'm going to cross over and go into the opposite side of the opposite 11-0 and pull these down like so. And then I'm going to pick up two 15-0 seed beads, and I'm going to go into the crystal right here. Pull them tight so that everything looks nice and neat. These should just look like two little lines of 15-0s. Pick up two more 15-0s. You're now coming out of the crystal. So you're going to go into the opposite side of the 11-0 that you started in. So we started on this side, we're going to go into this side. And pull them down nice and neat. And now we're going to sew up into this bead right here and do the same thing on this unit. So we're going to sew up through here and then into this little bottom bead here. Okay, so we're coming out of this little 11-0 seed bead right here. Now we're going to pick up two 15-0 seed beads, and then a bicone crystal, and then two 15-0 seed beads. And we're coming out of this side of this 11-0. We're going to go into the opposite side of the opposite 11-0 on top here and pull these down. And then we're going to pick up two 15-0 seed beads. Excuse me. And then we're going to go back through. We're coming out of this 11-0 here. We're going to go back through the crystal. Pull this down tight. Make sure that you don't have any slack in your thread. Pick up two 15-0 seed beads. And then go back into the 11-0 we started in on the opposite side. So we started on this side of this 11-0. We're going to go into this side of the 11-0. And pull these down nice and tight like so. Now we're going to sew up through this embellishment to get to this top bead right here. And so what we're going to do is we're coming out of this little 11-0 seed bead right here. We're going to go up into these two 15-0s. We're going to go into the crystal, and then we're going to go into the two 15-0s on the opposite side of the crystal and exit like so. Hold on to your beads as you pull this through and keep everything nice and tight. Make sure your embellishment didn't move or looks funny, and then go up into the 11-0 seed bead right here. Now we're going to make the connection for our ear wire. So we're going to pick up two 15-0 seed beads, and then we're going to pick up an 11-0 of our second color, and then we're going to pick up 8 15-0 seed beads. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is what I have on my needle. I have two 15-0s, 11-0 of my second color, and then 8 15-0s. Let me make sure. Yeah, I have 8 15-0s. I'm going to drop these down to the 11-0 I'm coming out of, right here. And then I'm going to go back into just the 11-0 seed bead, just like this. This will make a loop for the ear wire. So just come down through this, and then pick up 2 more 15-0 seed beads onto your needle, like so. And then we'll go back into the opposite side of the 11-0 from which we started. So we started on this side, we're going to go into this side and pull them down. Straighten this out. Now I'm going to sew back through this entire connection just to make sure it's very secure. So what I will do, I'm just going to turn it over, and I'm going to go back up through these two 15-0s right here, and then back up through my 11-0 and exit. And then I will sew through all 8 of these 15-0s. Just take as many at a time as you can. Then I will sew back down through this 11-0 and the two 15-0s on the opposite side from which I started my securing stitch here. And then I'm going to turn it back over and go back through my 11-0. Then I just want to arrange this before I pull my thread too tight to make it a circle, so there's no divisions and splits in it, in your thread there. Now I'm going to cut off my tail right here. I'm not going to burn it down just yet because I want to slide through this bead. I don't want a blob in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew through these 3 beads right here. And sometimes it's difficult to get through the white bead at the same time as you're going through the gold. So just go through the 3 gold ones, come up through the white bead. Remove that little tail over. And this is where you should be exiting, right here. Now we're going to make a little embellishment on the side. So we're going to pick up a 15-0 seed bead, a Bicone crystal, and a 15-0 seed bead, like this. And we're going to go from this 11-0 to this center 11-0 right here. So I'm going to go right through this one, the little side one sticking out, and pull this embellishment down tight. And you have to arrange it so that it's nice and neat, and make sure there's no slack in it whatsoever, or otherwise it'll be floppy, and you don't want it to be floppy. Now pick up a 15-0 seed bead, a Bicone crystal, and a 15-0 seed bead onto your needle, like this. Then we're going to go from this bead to this bead and pull this embellishment down tight. Like so. Now we're going to sew through these 3 gold and get into this very bottom 11-0 here. So go into these 3, and now the beads are getting very tight, so just take your time and get through them. So whenever you add an extra bead on the outside, the beads on the inside of your first units get really tight. So then I've gone through those 3 gold. I'm going to go through the 11-0. Then I'm going to pick up 2 15-0 seed beads, or actually 1 15-0 seed bead, excuse me. And then I'm going to pick up my second color 11-0. And then I'm going to pick up a crystal. And then I'm going to pick up a 15-0 seed bead. And this is what you should have: a 15-0, 11-0 of your second color, a crystal, and a 15-0. Drop this down. Oops, I dropped my 15-0. Drop this down to your work, like so. Go around the 15-0 seed bead, go into the Bicone crystal and the 11-0. Only the 11-0. Then pull back up through all of this tight. So if you get a little slack like I just did, grab a hold of your 15-0 and pull it up tight, like so. Now pick up a 15-0 seed bead and go into the opposite side from which you started in the 11-0 seed bead here. Pull this down and make sure everything is very tight and that it looks like this. Let me get you close so you can see. Your little 15-0 should be lying right next to each other, just like so. And then we are going to sew back up through these 3 11-0s. And exit. Pull tight, straighten everything up, and then go into the 11-0 seed bead on the side here, like so. Pick up, let me straighten up my embellishment. It looks all funny. I want to make sure it's not funny. Okay, then pick up a 15-0 seed bead, and then a bicone crystal, and a 15-0 seed bead onto your needle, like so. Go from this 15 or from this 11-0 to the very center 11-0 on this side of your earring, and pull. Now you have to arrange these. They want to do all kinds of weird things, and you have to have really good tension on these. Then pick up a 15-0 seed bead, a crystal, and a 15-0 seed bead, and go from this one that you're exiting, this 11-0 here, into this one here, and pull. And now we'll sew up into these 3 11-0s here, and right here on this, make sure everything's nice and neat before you tie your knot, but look at it, make sure it's all straightened up, looks really pretty. And then grab a knot right on this thread bridge, right between the 11-0s and the clasping 11-0, where your hook is here, so right here. And then go through this 11-0 and tie a knot on the other side of it too, right between the beads on the thread bridge. Pull it down tight, and then go through these 11-0s here, straighten everything out, and then I am going to cut my thread. Now this is where I left the little bit to burn down for my tail too. So I'm going to burn these 2 little pieces down. Tuck them in. Straighten everything up. And then I'm going to open an ear wire and put it on the little loop I just made. So I'm just going to grab my ear wire from side to side, open it up, slide my earring on, and then close my ear wire. And, well, let me turn it around. That's what that looks like. It's really kind of cute. So now I will get the other one and show you what they look like together. And this is what this hat looks like. Let me pick them up and put them on my hand so you can see them on my skin, which always helps bring out the colors. And that's what they look like. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And have a nice evening or day or morning or whatever it is. Bye-bye.